what's up everyone? It's Dave Stone with another exciting episode of Develop Awesome Skills, where I'm committed to providing inspirational and practical ways to transform your life and the world around you by planting fruit and medicinal trees. And you can check out my front yard canopy right over there. That was dirt almost a year and a half ago. In August, it'll be a year and a half. So it's pretty epic. I'm loving what's going on with my garden, but today we're gonna talk about HVACs, and I'm gonna show you a simple thing to check if your AC goes out, because when your air conditioning goes out in the middle of summertime, in any place hot, and I live in Phoenix, you need to get that thing fixed, and you gotta get it fixed right away. There are a few things that you can do to check and see if it's a simple condition, because a lot of times it actually is a simple condition that you can fix yourself. As a little safety aside here, you might want to just go ahead and call an AC technician to come out, check your system, even if it is this simple thing to fix, because this is a high voltage system. So HVACs run on 220. There's a lot of power running through these, a lot of juice. And the thing I'm going to show you today actually has to deal with the electrical system. It's something that will last, you know, sometimes 10, 15, 20 years, but sometimes it will go out. And when it goes out at the worst time of the year, right when you need it. Before I start this, I just want to say this is high voltage electricity. So there's a couple things that you really need to be very, very careful and aware of before you work on your air conditioning unit. So that's what I'm gonna go through first, is safety, precautions, and then what you need to look for. Okay, so this is very, very important right here. This is the safety measures before you do anything with electricity or with air conditioners or HVACs. This right here is it's a little box, and it's right attached to my air conditioning unit. Now, sometimes these are not attached to the units. My unit is on the roof. Everybody's air conditioning unit is a little bit different, but it's the same basic components. Your box is going to be on the wall outside. Your unit might be on the ground, not on the roof. And you can see these fuses here. These are 250 volt fuses. And up here, there's a thing that says on and off is upside down. And there's a little handle here. So what you want to do is you want to come in here before you do anything to your unit, and you want to pull this out all the way. And it's kind of tough. There it is. So that's what it is here. You can see those connections in there. So what happens when you turn it off is you flip it upside down and the connections go up into this empty bank. But I don't even need to turn it off. I'm just gonna leave it out. That's the safest way to do it. Okay, so now I'm confident that this whole unit has been disconnected because I have the actual fuse circuit in my hand. And this is what connects the whole unit to the actual electricity of the house. So now that this is in my hand, I know I'm a little bit safer, but there's still a few more safety things to do, but it's during the process. So I'm gonna show you the one piece that you need to inspect if your air conditioning or HVAC goes out. And if this inspection goes the way I think it will when your air conditioning goes out, it'll probably only be about an $11 fix. So let's go. So you gotta find the side of the unit that has not the fan, but has there's a panel. There's a lot of different panel looking things on this, but this is the one we're looking for. Usually the wires are coming out of it, right? So this is that panel. It's the top panel here for me. And a lot of times it's actually the same size screws, but for me, I think there might be like 5/16, but they have a little standard screw head on them. So I'm just gonna use a screwdriver to take these off. And again, I'm actually fully disconnected. So that's what you want. All right, so this is the first piece that comes out. And then we have a internal panel here that will kind of slide down. So there's the diagram of the unit. I don't really know what any of that means, but that's not what I want to show you today. What I want to show you is the one thing that can happen to your unit that you can replace easily yourself by following a few safety measures. All right, so it might just look like a mess of wires and stuff in here. There's something I want you to see. This is called a capacitor, and a capacitor stores electricity. So you need to make sure you short out a capacitor before you work with any of the connectors, and you need to do this with a plastic handled screwdriver. Make sure you're not touching, you don't want to discharge electricity into your body. So this is a really important step. But What we're doing today is I'm just going to show you how to visually inspect this capacitor. So before you replace a capacitor, you want to take the metal part and you want to short out all of there's 3 leads, you want to touch them all to each other. Make sure that there's no power left in the capacitor. You can touch the bottom part of it, but you can't really touch the top leads until you discharge it. And here's how you can visually inspect to see if your capacitor is broken or not. You want to look at the top of this. And when you look at the top of the capacitor, right underneath these, you want to make sure it's flat. If your air conditioning goes out, come up and look at your capacitor, and if the top is bubbling, if it's dome shaped underneath these leads, your capacitor is bad. It's now not connecting anything. So that is a very important part of your AC unit, and like I said, usually this is the problem. You just want to be very safe, very careful when you're doing anything with high voltage electricity. On the top there's no bubble at all. So, and I'm talking right in here underneath this ledge, it's flat. If it's domed underneath these leads, it's time for a new capacitor. And when the AC guy comes out, that's the first thing they're going to check. That's what they're going to do, is they're going to replace a capacitor for $11 and charge you a lot more money. All right, so there you go. The one thing that you can check if your AC goes out is the capacitor. These capacitors have a lifespan, and sometimes that lifespan is 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. They can even last up to 20 years, but they will always go out at the worst time. And it's not that hard to replace. You just have to really keep in mind some very simple safety precautions. And not only that, you want to make sure that you get the right capacitor. You really want to make sure that you are comfortable with electricity and that you are comfortable doing the safety precautions with electricity, because the worst thing that could happen is that you don't disconnect the unit and you get shocked. That would not be good. That would be very, very bad. So don't do that. What you need to do is make sure you follow this proper safety precautions, and then just look and visually inspect your capacitor. If it's domed on the top underneath those leads, you need a new one. Now it's super simple to put everything back together. This goes in last. So this slides in first. Well, in my unit. Your unit will be a little bit different, because everybody's unit's a little bit different than mine. This is an older unit, but it works great. And then we'll put this one underneath and slide it up there. And there it is. Put some screws in. Hold it. And now I'm going to finish screwing it back in. Next step is to put this back in. You want to make sure that it says on in the up position. And then you push it in there. It already starts up. You want to really hit it though. Good connection. Close the box. Boom. That's it. Fix the AC, although mine wasn't broken. But if it ever does turn off, I know the first thing to check, and that's the capacitor. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please put in the comments if you have any other tips and tricks for ACs or HVACs that people can simply do themselves as a visual inspection of their unit, so I can learn a little bit more about AC units, because this stuff is really, really important. Thank you so much to everybody who's subscribed to me. If you haven't subscribed yet, hit the subscribe button below, comment below, and share this video with the world. If you like this video, give me a big green thumbs up, and thank you so much to all my Patreons. I really appreciate you guys. If you do want to support me on Patreon, go to patreon.com/developawesomeskills, and you can get your own pair of Develop Awesome Skills shades with a Moringa leaf on them. Become a $3 Patreon a month or more. You get some cool shades, and you'll be in the end of these credits. So thank you so much. Until next time, develop awesome skills. Love you all.